There's a couple of different ways to think about Linux distributions. One of them is comparing binary based distributions to source based distributions. Now, a source based distribution is one where all of the packages are actually built from source when you are ready to install them. A binary based distribution is one where somebody else does all of the compilation, puts them together, and then all you have to do is install them. Now, the advantage to a binary based distribution, of course, is the ease of use. There are a number of binary based distributions. Of course, Red Hat is one of them. Red Hat provides all of its packages in the Red Hat Package Manager format, RPM. And of course, we've got Debian, for example, which is another binary based distribution. You've got all of the packages that are created, and all you've got to do is install them. You don't have to actually create anything or compile anything when you want to install something. Now, there's a disadvantage to this. The disadvantage to the binary based distribution is that they determine what all of the dependencies that are going to be installed are. Many packages have the ability to either include or not include a number of other packages based on what you're looking for. So distributions like Red Hat, Debian, Ubuntu, various other binary-based distributions actually make those determinations for you. They determine that the majority of people are going to use a particular set of packages, and they are going to actually use those as dependencies. A distribution like Arch, for example, does give you the ability to build your own packages depending on the dependencies and the specific subsystems and packages you want to install. So Arch uses a system called Pacman, which will actually install packages for you. Now, Arch will do either build your own, or they do have some binary packages as well that you can install. Another Linux distribution that is source based is Gentoo. Now, Gentoo is very much a Linux from scratch distribution. So you start off with a very, very basic subset of Linux when you get going. And that is what you use to layer all of the other packages and subsystems on top of, so that when you're done, you've got exactly the distribution that you want based on different sets of dependencies, different packages that you want to install. You've got a lot more control doing it this way. Of course, the downside to doing a from scratch distribution like Gentoo here is that it's going to take a lot longer to install because you are compiling everything from source, and there may be a lot of underlying dependencies that need to actually be compiled before you get the one that you really want to install and make use of. So you get a lot more flexibility, control, and power with a scratch-based Linux distribution like Gentoo or Arch. Or you can also give up some of the control and the customization possibilities by using a binary based distribution like Red Hat or Debian. Really is up to you to determine which direction you want to go in, where you're going to feel more comfortable. You're going to learn an awful lot more using a scratch based distribution like Gentoo or Arch. You're going to be able to hit the ground running a lot faster with something like Debian, Ubuntu, Red Hat, or one of the other binary based distributions.